going out, with the exception of a noodle enemy, which we'll get to in a little bit. There's also no keys, very fast experience, short Sharlock, and they're off. Let's see what they get to start off here. They're going to have 7 treasure chests to check right off the bat.
Yeah, and again, we're going to get those last-minute instructions, and we're going to be on the road. And again, like you said, we're going to get at least a few enemies that are going to be, at least killable within that zone 0. But after that, there's no guarantees at this point.
Yeah, so the first 3 chests, you had 2 gold chests, which in Chaos I'm not a big a fan of because there's so much dying early on in Chaos, that money's probably gone. But there was a fairy water, which is very important because somewhere in the first zone is what we refer to as the wet noodle, a monster guaranteed to have no more than 5 HP. And that fairy water, well, that does between 9 and 16 damage. So if you find the noodle and chuck some fairy water, you've got to kill.
Yeah, and so far we've got Erdrick's token and Erdrick's armor and the dragon scale inside of the first armory. So a very, very, very nice armory to start. So we'll see how this plays out on the first enemy as Archfield goes outside instead of going to the downstairs.
Archfield finding not the noodle, but something that dies to the fairy water. He gets 170 experience right off the bat, and those levels, that's 7 levels. He's up to level 8 already. So that was not the wet noodle. The wet noodle can only give up to 64, I think, experience, but Archfield finding way better than that, and 1 fairy water proving very, very effective for him.
And a Stoneman with DL2 is going to send him home off of that beginning HP.
Yeah, he's looking like he's really lucky to get that Magician because the Stoneman had DL2 Breath, Beta finding a Droll that had Hurt More. I think Diabetes had that same Droll with Hurt More. Diabetes in the basement has found his way to Mountain Cave, and he is grinding, I believe those were herbs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, those were herbs that he started picking up. And Beta Strip going outside, heading north. He's already found his first town. And the first dragon. Let's see if we got any kind of fun police here.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Diabetes was grinding torches. He wants torches to be able to throw at enemies outside. That makes sense. Beta killing a red dragon up there and going up to... Looks like he's also going to get level 8 based on those level ups.
Yeah, so it looks like doesn't take too much to hit that first initial level. And, of course, looking at the tracker here, they did pull heal and hurt more right off of those first 8 levels. So this is going to be one of those fun ones.
Flute for Beta Strep, and did I see a sword on Diabetes' side? Did he find a sword down there in Mountain Cave?
I missed it completely. Yep, sword is in Mountain.
And Arch has it as well.
And super cheap silver shield in Coal. Flute and Coal, was this even randomized today?
Wow, so you've got the armor and the treasure. You've got the sword right below Tantail. You have a cheap silver shield about a screen away from the castle. I mean, I don't know what more you could want, right?
It's super awesome right off the get-go. I mean, all 3 Erdrick pieces right there in the castle, and then right as soon as you step outside and go north a little bit, there's a flute. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be fun. And Harp is in Mountain as well, so that is a super fun time.
Yeah, so we're already up to our quest items. We're talking about quest items 3.5 minutes in. In order to gain access to Sharlock, which we mentioned was short, in order to get access to Sharlock, you need to collect up a whole bunch of fun little items. You need a Stones of Sunlight, you need the Erdrick's token, you need the Silver Harp. You have to trade the Silver Harp in for a Staff of Rain at an Old Man Cave that's out there somewhere. And all that can then be traded in for a Rainbow Drop somewhere else. Then you finally get access to Sharlock. Our runners already have 2 of those 3 pieces they need. Well, they have 2. Some do. And they're really off and running as far as equipment and quest items go. Beta in Tablet, seeing what he's going to find there.
Yeah, and Keeglis brings up a really good point in chat. Now to find the one last item that could be in the remaining 25 chests and or the 2 spike tiles within our search areas if we even have a search tile here.
I am slightly sad that we do know that Sharlock doesn't have any goodies in it. Obviously, the quest items can't be in Sharlock, so the grab the Rainbow Drop and run to Sharlock plan probably won't be used in this particular seed. As Diabetes into Cole, he's got his Fairy Flute, and he is very shortly going to have his Silver Shield, and he's loaded up on equipment. The first one, he's got all 3 big pieces of equipment.
Right, and of course, Beta going in and finding his tablet cave there. I didn't see what was in it, but again, there's a lot of exploration still to be done. You still got to find Jerk Cave. Still got to find the Staff of Rain trade-in cave, and then of course we still have Garen's Grave as well.
All right, Diabetes gets all his big gear and kills a Druid for 26 exciting experience. Archfield finding out the Wraiths have sleep. They don't hit very hard, but with sleep, they're probably sort of annoying. And Beta looks like he's got the most exploration done. He is moved across the swamp to the east of Tablet Cave and found a bunch of forest.
Right, I mean, dogs, trees, always good things, right?
Depends if they're your trees or not, I guess.
I mean, the way every dog thinks is every tree belongs to them. But we do have Archfield, who is kind of taking a couple of steps around. Looks like the bottom of mountain. Looks like he's found a couple of things to maybe grind some XP out of.
Yeah, he's flying up the experience ladder here. 1,400 experience. I don't know. Let's see if he's going for... Yeah, I think he's trying to grind something, right? I didn't see if he found something worth a lot of experience, but he's not trying to death warp or anything. So he's got his eye on something down here. Beta, meanwhile, going back to the castle, he's going to check the back. He's going to be happy to find his sword and harp back there as well.
Yeah, so in the meantime, we do have Diabetes, who's down here walking around in the desert, just kind of chilling out with his robes. Looks like he's doing a little grinding himself here. Got a Druid for 26, so I think he's found these Axe Knights, I think, are what's worth the experience.
Yeah, I'm really curious how this will work out for our runners. I think Beta's kind of in the exploring mode, whereas Archfield and Diabetes are taking a second to grind. I kind of like Beta Strep, honestly. I kind of like the exploration. I always feel like when I get armor and Beta Strep's about to have the sword, you can see they got all the spells. Well, all the spells you really care about, right? Hurt more, heal more. I love to go run around and get all the exploration done, but Archfield and Diabetes taking a little different approach, trying to build up the levels. So hopefully that exploration goes faster, and we'll get a chance to see which one gets you there first.
Yeah, so again, grind's going on right now. And at this time, we can go ahead and kind of give you guys a little heads up. Follow these guys, all these racers. These guys, they put out a lot of good races and a lot of different content. So give all these racers a follow, as well as the staff in the background here. We've got our both of us as...
Oh man, we got the chat now going to defend stop spell outside and return. Fine, I guess someone can. I don't know. I've never celebrated getting No, that's a lie. I've celebrated getting stop spell before. Okay, never mind. Beta has found these metal scorpions, though. 107 experience points per as he gets his silver harp, and he'll finish clearing out mountains. So Beta Strep and Diabetes, kind of similar experience-wise. Archfield has kind of been doing this dedicated grind for the most part. And so he's way ahead in experience. But again, I think Beta has an exploration lead, and Diabetes too to some extent. Diabetes looks like he's in the grave, so he is off to a nice exploration lead too. And he's got the Stones of Sunlight, so Diabetes has found all the things he cares. Oh, he didn't get his harp, did he?
I don't think he's picked up the harp yet. But again, with that though, I mean, he just needs to head back to that one small area, and boom, he is ready to go.
Okay, look, I've never celebrated getting a return, but I've definitely been very sad to find I didn't have it at the end. So does that count? I don't know if that counts.
Well, I mean, again, it all depends on how long that walk back is. If you've got that long trudge back, it is awful.
I don't know. I feel like, well, we'll see. I feel like very few of these Chaos Seeds end before 16 anyway. Maybe this one will. Diabetes has found, oh, I see. It's Swamp has Sharlock and Grave right next to it. So Diabetes has location of Sharlock now.
So he does have a thorough advantage, at least in the exploration department. Still missing that silver harp. And then, of course, we are still missing both caves of Jerk Cave and our staff turn-in.
Yeah, missing the harp is rough because, when you stumble across Harp Cave, you love to have that so you can turn in right away and don't have to make a return trip. If Diabetes finds it somewhere way out in the middle of nowhere in Swamp Continent, he's going to have to make a return trip, which is sort of unfortunate.
Yeah, so he has found Swap North. Of course, we do have some Metal Slimes in there. Of course, the Metal Slime's not hitting too hard, but it all depends on what other skills they've got. It doesn't look like we're going to find out. They are still super spicy in the XP department.
Archfield still on this grind. I think the Wraiths are his target, and I'm curious how far he's going to go. The other thing I start worrying about grinding here is, metal slimes are worth a lot too. There's diabetes leveling up off those. I start worrying when you see the armor in the treasury and you see the harp, the token, the sword all show up. You start thinking it's a Jetty Seed, and it's easy to get really impatient and want to go. But Archfield is taking his time and grinding this out, so we'll see how far he goes.
True. And of course, there is the other big wow factor is DL1, DL2, and that spike tile just beforehand. What possible things are they going to end up with?
Yeah, Archfield, another 242, just racking up the 242. So he's going to have to catch up in exploration. But again, his plan here is hopefully he has 4 or 5 more levels over his opponents, and is able to just run through the exploration. I guess he decides that that's enough. He's going to outside. He's going to get on with the exploration. So here's where we find out: do all those extra levels, all that extra experience, help him complete the exploration before Diabetes and Beta.
Well, Diabetes is actually right behind him by just a single level. Those 2 or 3 Metal Slime kills super caught him up quick. So again, it's going to be all dependent upon what's down there in Cantlin, or what's down there in Charlock, and then of course, are we even going to find Cantlin on this map?
Well, right, that's the thing, is that we know, I don't think any of the runners have put together all the pieces quite yet, but we know that Cantlin's not required, that Hawksness is not required, that Garanham's not required, that everything... Well, Garanham might be if there's a trading cave there, but we found all the items. We don't need to do any more treasure hunting. We know where everything is.
Right, and at this point, it's just preparation for that last little drop in. And looks like Diabetes has found Hawksness, so he's going to go ahead and take a look and find that super amount of disappointment.
Yeah, our tracker putting up the Axe Knight. Classic Chaos enemy right there. Has 252 HP. You sit there attacking it forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and you're rewarded with 7 experience, 8 gold.
And those are always fun to see. Like, you've just wasted I don't know how many spells, and then you get 7 experience. Fun times.
So Diabetes does take out whatever was in Hawksness. Sorry, I missed it. But he gets a death necklace. Again, we knew that nothing could be there. Well, none of our quest items could be there, as we saw the stones in the grave earlier. But he didn't know that, of course. He has not found his stones of sunlight yet, or his harp yet. He did find the stones. He hasn't found his harp yet. So he's making his searches, he's making his checks, and we'll see how long it takes him to get back to Mountain Cave and get his harp.
Yeah, so that Hawksness fight is a golem, and it was super easy to take down. So 1 spike tile, not too much of a disappointment to begin. I don't really see the death necklace being a factor in this race today.
Ooh, Beta's in grave, and Beta's the first one to have all the things, so he knows where everything is. He's got all his quest items. He's got all of his equipment. He knows all he needs now are the trading caves. He's in grave. Grave is on the same screen as Charlock, so Beta Strep, 13 minutes in, has almost all the information he needs. He just needs those trading caves. And because he has all the items, he's ready to go. As soon as he finds Harp Cave, he can trade in. As soon as he finds Jerk Cave, he can trade in. And bonus, Beta picks up level 9.
Yeah, and it looks like Diabetes is going to go ahead and pick the Princess and take off back to the castle, just in case. And of course, that GPS system is not just good for the tracking of coordinates, but it's also good in this random, completely chaos randomizer for tracking whatever your next level is going to be. So that's always a plus without having to go back to the castle.
Well, Beta Strep, look at this. He picks up his Stones of Sunlight and then learns about the Wraith that's worth all the experience. And Metal Scorpion's down here, too, worth a good chunk of experience. So he's all of a sudden up to level 12, and I wonder how long he hangs around here. He's kind of low resources, but I bet he's going to want to find a couple more kills here. Archfield into Garanham. Again, we know that the back of Garanham doesn't have anything as far as treasure goes. We'll see if one of our trading caves is back here.
Right, it looks like he's going to pick up a couple of herbs, get himself set on those, and again, Diabetes picking up the princess and taking off back to home just to drop her off and use that tracker. And let's go ahead and see what's in the back of Garen here.
Mentioning in chat and mentioning on Hawksness a minute ago, we found the Death Necklace, or Diabetes found the Death Necklace. Death Necklace is a little tricky in Chaos because that Dragon Lord 1 can have has randomized stats and could have anywhere up to 255 attack power. It's not uncommon to get hit for 92 by the Dragon Lord 1. Well, it doesn't feel uncommon anyway. So that could really put a damper on the Death Necklace, and I feel like you certainly would need some information before you decide to put on that Death Necklace. So maybe it could be useful, but it's a little bit different, a little tougher to put on than in the main game.
Right, and we did find Jerk Cave in the back of Gierenheim. Archfield did find that there, so he does have that towards the end of this race.
All right, so to give a little bit of an update here, we've got Beta Strep. This is all off stream, of course, but Beta Strep still doing a grind. He has flown up. He's in the mid 3000s in experience, mid level 13. Diabetes sitting at about 2100 experience, also exploring around. I do not believe he's found his harp yet. And Archfield, right around the same experience level as Beta Strep in Remolder. We know there's nothing to be found there, but watching these runners, I think Beta Strep's still hunting around for his caves. He's caught up in experience, so Beta versus Arch, and then Diabetes has just the heart missing, and I don't think he's made it back to Mountain yet. So
All right, it looks like we do have our feed back up now.
yeah, there we go. So you can see there's Beta caught up with Archfield. Yeah, Diabetes still hunting around for that harp.
So it looks like we do have some of those metal slimes out there on the overworld too, just kind of chilling out, hanging out. But we definitely know that they are in Swamp North and they are rampant in there. And it does look like Archfield's found him another town. We're just going to kind of check and see what that's going to look like here in a second.
He's got himself Cantlin, and I do not know. I didn't see if Archfield picked up Stones of Sunlight. I don't know if he's been through Swamp Cave yet. Probably not, because looks like he's going to check the coordinates. So we know the coordinates don't have anything because we've seen all the items that could be there. But he's about to get the news. There they are. No coordinates.
And there are no coordinates. Thou must go and lay thine hands upon the Dragon Lord.
Which is kind of good news for Archfield because he won't have to waste time, on the wild goose chase looking around for 122 north and 67 west or whatever.
Right, and this does look like it'd be one of those seeds that it'd be like in one of the extreme corners of the map, and it'd just be like, yeah, have fun.
Yeah, we saw Diabetes preemptively rescue the princess for exactly that reason. He was still looking for his harp, and I'm sure he was thinking, if there are coordinates, they're not going to be fun to count, no matter what they are. And we see on Beta Strep's side a classic staple of Chaos Seeds, the enemy that gives you one magical experience.
Ah, yes, but again, that desert kind of being filled with those metal slimes. I think that's what he's doing is sitting here grinding out on these metal slimes. And it looks like on all of our racers that 14 is going to be that one super reachy level to get to.
Brian pointing out that even though that Blue Dragon gave Beta Strep one experience, it temporarily tied him for the experience lead until he found stuff actually worth something to give him the experience lead. Beta looks like he's still doing his grind, and again, I really like this idea. He's been able to find experience as he explores around, and it's always nice to be able to do two things at once. Get experience, get item/equipment, and explore. And Beta able to get experience and explore at the same time, which is always nice.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And Diabetes has found Gierenham, so he's going to stock up on some herbs, check out the back, and find exactly what he's needing because he, I think, is the only one. Well, he's missing one item as well, so at least he's going to have that knowledge of, hey, I found Jerk Cave, so we just need to find out all the last pieces we need here.
Yeah, Diabetes is going to be sad to not see a harp here. He's probably going to be really happy to see Rainbow Drop Cave because he knows that if there was a harp cave back here, he'd be kind of missing out. But he won't be missing out on anything because our runners still all looking for Harp Cave, and you can't do anything with Rainbow Drop Cave until you find that Harp Cave.
Right, and that's the one cave we are actually still looking for, I believe. No one has found that one yet, so we are still on the hunt right now.
Yeah, these maps. I mean, we've been seeing them a lot with this new 2.2 version. These maps are a lot more challenging, and there's a lot more exploration to be done here. So that's kind of why I like the idea on beta side here. Just go out and get that exploration done. It can sometimes take a while, and we see beta checking out every corner of the map, seeing what's up there. Of course, our other runners as well. Beta does have the exploration lead. I think he seems like he's been able to branch out further than other two runners, who again favored some early grinding over exploration.
And in the chat, it does look like Archfield did find the staff of Rain Cave and has already exchanged it. Apparently, it was near Rimular while we were off stream for a minute there.
Okay, I saw him in Remolder, but I did not see him before that with Harp Cave. So we do have all the information. Well, all of our runners combined have all the information, but I'm pretty sure Archfield was the only one that had seen Remolder. And wait, does this sit here? Diabetes has found Bonus Cave. Again, we know that there's nothing in there, but
There's some fairy water in there, so I mean that's helpful late game. Again, you can throw that fairy water for up to about 16 points of damage at maximum. So there's not a terrible pull there, but not the greatest thing in the world either.
yeah, I'm sure Diabetes is looking for that silver harp. I guess to be fair, there's the fighter's ring still lurking out in treasure chest somewhere out there. They'll give you a +2 attack power, but that's not really essential.
Yeah, and again, still we're sitting at 40, almost 4,600 XP on Beta Strip's screen, and we are still not at level 14. So that level 14 is a super reaching level on this one.
Yeah, although the way these levels work, a lot of times there's a large gap like we have here between 13 and 14. You sometimes get levels packed together right after that. So we might see our runners take a long time to get to 14, then suddenly one kill shoots them up to 18 or something. So there might be a little light at the end of the tunnel there, and that yeah, it's taking them a while, but they might be, 4 levels waiting at the end of that grind.
Yeah, you are correct, Keyless. They did gain that at 1,500 experience, and like I said, we're sitting at 4,600 on Beta Strep screen, and still no 14 yet. So it's kind of elusive. Again, well, it could be any time. It's one of those that it could just be another 500-600 experience to go.
It's kind of where
And
Gwaelin's
diabetes,
glove comes in, right? Like, kind of tells you how much more you need. Here we have to go to 14 anyway, but it can be kind of nice to have that information.
yeah, and diabetes finding Remulidar, so he's found that. So he may have some more of that information of the pieces that he's needing. Probably still missing that harp, and of course he does end up going a little bit north or across the desert here and finding maybe a little bit more stuff.
Archfield checking out the swamp tile, looking for a grind, I take it, and he finds the wolf, so not anything he's interested in, so he'll be out of there.
Yeah, and looks like we're just kind of finding Cantlin on diabetes screen down here, and of course we've got Archfield who's getting across this swamp here, kind of doing a little more exploration, trying to find our last couple of things.
Yeah, Diabetes is going to be, again, pretty happy. Well, as it turns out, pretty happy there are no coordinates because he won't go again on that same wild goose chase I was mentioning earlier. He's still, I guess, he definitely needs the harp, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't be checking the coordinates. Beta Strep, unfortunately, found things in sort of the wrong order, I want to say. He's got all his stuff, but he found the Jerk Cave before he found the Harp Cave. So, again, can't do anything with that until he finds the Harp Cave. I think yeah, Juz was saying northeast side of the map, and Beta Strap looks like he's wandering up towards the north. I think this might be the path based on diabetes. Maybe this is the path to get to that northeast portion where Remulder exists, and then Beta Strep can do his turn-ins and be in grind and go.
Yeah, and it kind of makes me wonder if Archfield has even found Gierenham, because I know, like I said, he's got everything, and we did know that the Jerk Cave is in the back of Gierenham, so we're just waiting on that. Oh, and he does. He has found gear in him, so he's getting ready to go grab that rainbow drop. Looks like he's getting ready to be in go mode to do that grind and go there in Charlotte, possibly see what our top 5 enemies of the entire game is.
Yeah, so Archfield did that early grind, but also looks like even though he didn't quite go to all the little corners of the world like Betastrep did, he went to the right parts of the world because he found Remolder, I believe, first, and he got that harp traded in, and he is about to get his rainbow drop, I believe.
Yeah, so it looks like he's ready to go step in there into Charlotte Castle and see what's there. And you gotta wonder, being such, I mean, our stats are not quite even remotely go mode. So you wonder, do you go and check the spike tile, see what's there, and see what kind of grind is there, or do you just kind of go with what you know? You've got a couple of decent grind spots in different locations.
Ooh, just as I mentioned, Archfield in Go mode, Betastrep has got his harp. He's got about a 600 experience lead, and he knows the location of Garanham. He has to get back there to get his rainbow drop, but Betastrep about to be in grind and go very, very shortly as well. Diabetes has finally made it back to Mountain Cave. He's going to go get his harp. And yeah, as Keegler says in chat, probably have a few choice words about the harp having been right there. But I believe he does know where his trading caves are too. So he's going to be in grind and go very, very shortly.
Yeah, so as we mentioned earlier, this is going to be one of those uh, right down to the very end who's going to get there first. And again, Beta Strip has the significant XP lead. Uh, it's going to be, again, this is going to come down, I think, to just the final seconds.
Well, I think by the time Betastrep gets into the back and gets his rainbow drop and finds his grind spot, they're probably going to be virtually tied. Um, one of the things I like about Chaos, you were mentioning the spike tile in Charlock. One of the things I actually like a lot about Chaos is that the spike tiles are very rarely worth it. We saw Archfield check Swamp for a wolf and was uninterested. Hawkins had a golem that I don't think anyone really cares about. And so you got to kind of be a little more creative with your grinding. And I would bet Archfield maybe heads back to his little zone and mountain. Betastrep had a pretty good thing going, maybe in Grave where he had metal scorpions and Wraiths that were given a lot of experience. But this is where kind of all that paying attention to what enemies were where and who gives what. Betastrep in the desert down here has got a zone he seems to want to explore a little bit. So we'll see who makes the right choice and who gets that experience. And yeah, Archfield heading back down to mountain to do his grind there. It looks like.
Yeah, and of course, with that whole grinding strategy, Diabetes did have a really good spot where he ran into 3 metal slimes right off back to back, and them giving 251 experience is a super easy grind spot because they only took, I think, 1 or 2 hits with our current set of stats. So an easy grind, in my opinion.
Yeah, location makes a huge difference too. Of course, Archfield has the advantage of this being right underneath the castle. It's pretty low resource. If you die, who cares? You get back here really quickly. One of the issues, I was mentioning some of the spots, some of the nice spots we had seen before. Beta did find a nice spot in Grave, but Grave's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so not great. So Beta was investigating that desert just south of Garanham. Would have been nice because you get a refill really close by, but he's thrown up the wings and he's off to a different zone. It looks like.
Yeah, and with that said about the metal slime grind, it does look like there are a few of them on the first floor of Mountain Cave as well. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. And we did just see Diabetes get his rain staff, so he looks like he's on his way to Garen to go pick up that rainbow drop as well now.
Yeah, Keeglis, Juz, sorry, pointing out that even though Archfield has these wraiths down in Mountain Cave, and there's his second, I believe, in a row, so there's another 247, I think, coming his way. It's a lower counter rate in the Mountain Cave, a 1 in 16, versus if you find desert or mountains, that's a 1 in 8. So that might play a role.
And it looks like Beta is just going to say, you know what? We're going to go in here and try to get this grind inside of Charlock, see what's in here.
But
So Beta
P.S.
being the
was
first
this
to enter.
P.S. was this one continent? By the way, I think Beta just walked to Charlock.
No, it is 2 continents. We do have Swamp North just right there at Charlock, and I believe we did see the other end have a couple of things we needed, but it wasn't like anything significant. Oh, that was Hawksness and had it had the death necklace on the other side.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I was wondering if it was just one continent or whatever. Uh, let's see. So Beta checking out Sharlock to see what's in there. Yeah, I was guessing he's probably going for the spike tile. One of the issues with Sharlock, it is short Sharlock, so you just have the one floor. But in chaos mode, the game picks the 10 most feared enemies based on a very scary formula and throws them all into Sharlock. So usually you're not going to get many easy fights in Sharlock. But that said, maybe the spike tile is something nice and nice, easy to kill. Beta looks like he is going to go and check that out.
Yeah, and everybody else is just right now. We have Archfield in grind and go. He finally does hit 14, so it does look like that grind is going to help him out a little bit. He is now with a commanding experience lead due to that grind down there for those rates.
Yeah, and actually, that's right. Mountain, bottom floor of Mountain is the same as Grave 1, right? So he's finding the Wraiths, he's finding the Metal Scorpions. This is the zone that Beta Strep just shot up the experience ladder in, and now Archfield using that to his advantage as well. Diabetes does get the Rainbow Drop. Sorry, Diabetes does get the Rainbow Drop in Garen Hammond. He's in Grind and Go as well, so all our runners in Grind and Go, and just trying to get those Go stats.
Yeah, and now we're going to take a look at that spike tile, and it's a Draki, so not terrible, but again, they are attacks failing and missing. This is going to be interesting to watch.
Oh yeah, Beta was not going for the spike tile, he's going for the info. He only has 28 MP, so he's clearly not trying to get a win here, but he wants the information so he knows how far he has to grind. That can make a big difference. If he knows Dragonlord 1 is weak, if he knows Dragonlord 2 doesn't have any spells, that can help him figure out when to go, whereas our other runners who don't have information will have no idea if 120, 130, 140 attack power is enough.
Yeah, and it looks like Dragonlord is going to have DL1's going to have that heal, but looks like he's going to abuse Baby Breath pretty roughly, and he's only hitting for 2. So this is going to be one of those pieces of information that's going to be super helpful, and he's going to at least get a look at DL2.
Yeah, he's not going to get too far into DL2 to have any idea, I don't think, about his HP range, but he'll get far enough in to have a good idea whether the Dragonlord has sleep or not. That's a big deal too. But yeah, he knows that Dragonlord 1 is pretty harmless, so he's just going to, probably check and see if he gets put to sleep or not, and that'll be that. He's casting a couple Hurt Mores just to see, and he's going to get one more try, I guess.
Yeah, he took a couple of shots there with the Hurtmore just to see if he can land them. And again, just kind of check and see whether or not he's going to pop to sleep or anything. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. So he has at least the crucial information of now I can get in grind and go and know exactly what I'm looking for on the Dragon.
Yeah, he knows DL1 will not be a problem, and yeah, he's pretty confident that sleep's not a thing. I think we saw, 4 attacks? So, I mean, it's possible our Dragonlord 2 could have a low percentage sleep, maybe. And it's always possible Dragonlord could have some heal hanging out in the background, too. But, yeah, that's some really good information, that Dragonlord 1 will not cause any problems. So I bet we're going to see Beta be pretty aggressive on his next attempt when he gets, another level or 2.
Well, he does have 14 now. Taking a look, still doesn't quite have the stats he's looking for to make this happen. But again, he took only a couple of shots with Hurtmore, so he didn't really see what kind of damage he was doing. And at only 97 attack power, we know that that's not quite good. The ready mode. Again, only 70 magic points. That's only 1 or 2 less. That's only 8 or 9 heal mores in the tank. That's not going to get you anywhere.
So Beta right back into the grave. He's got that same exact zone that Archfield does. He's behind on experience, but these Wraiths are going to catch you up real fast. These Wraiths and Metal Scorpions, and he has some very, very important knowledge as well.
That indeed. And of course, Diabetes down here, he is, looks like he's grinding a little bit of these metal slimes in the desert. Looks like he's trying to find him a decent grind spot. As well as, like I said, our other 2 racers are in that bottom of that mountain cave, just grinding away, trying to get that experience. Looks like this is going to be a 16, 17, or even an 18 map, depending on what our next set of stats gives us.
Yeah, so as our runners are grinding here, Diabetes has found a zone he likes outside of in the desert out here, where Beta and Archfield they're different spots, but in the same zone, doing some Dragon Lord 2 math. It's really confusing in Chaos because the HP range on our DL2 is so wide. Now, normally, we'd never even, well, we still can't really think about going here because even Archfield, his 100 attack power, would still be doing 0 to 1 to the Dragon Lord. But the math gets kind of complicated because the Dragon Lord 2 can have anywhere between 100 to 230 HP. So our runners might be kind of confident they can do, I don't know, 120, 130, 140, and that might be enough. That might be more than enough, or that might be 100 HP too short, 100 damage too short. So again, Beta has that information that DL1 is pretty weak, so when he gets into the maybe 120s or 130s, he might go for it, trying to get, 140 damage, 150 damage, hoping that's enough. Whereas Archfield and Diabetes not having that information, they might start to question, like, can I really try this at 130? Can I really try this at 125? I don't know. So when you decide to go is much more difficult to figure out in Chaos with the limited information that we have.
Yeah, and it looks like Diabetes is actually checking several different grind spots. And DK brings up a good point. He just can't figure out a good grind, so he's going to go ahead and hit that rainbow drop. He's going to go and drop into Charlotte and see what's down there, only to find out the disappointment that not really much anything down there is giving decent XP.
Yeah, I wasn't watching him specifically in Mountain or in Grave, but maybe he never got a Wraith kill, so maybe he never got to see them.
It does have Metal Scorpions there in Charlotte, so maybe that's going to be a decent grind. We just don't know just yet. But again, I mean, it's not a terrible spot. And it does look like Archfield has hit 16 at 8,700. That's going to be interesting.
Ooh, whoa, it's a lot of magic, but an 111 attack power, I mean, that's just not going to get you're doing 5 to 6, I don't think. Oh no, gosh, you're not doing 5 to 6, sorry, you're doing 2 to 5. I don't think you get very far, but that extra MP means a lot more heal mores. That extra HP means better chance for doubles. Defense power up to 91. That's awfully nice too. So Archfield getting closer, but not quite there yet.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those, 17, 18, maybe even 19, depending on what these next few stats are. Because once you start getting into later levels, the stat gains just start to become and the immediate next kill is another level for Archfield.
Ooh, but still only 2 power. Z bringing up a good point in chat that Beta knows the Death Necklace is reasonable. However, I don't believe Beta Strep ever made it into Hawksness unless that happened while we were off stream. I believe that Diabetes is the only one with the Death Necklace, and he is about to go find out that DL1 is very weak, so he will know that Death Necklace is reasonable. There's 11 more power over on Archfield's side. He's at 124 attack power now, I believe, and that's another one where if he had the information, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Beta when he gets 17. He has that 124. Knowing that DL1 is papered, does he go on 124 with a lot of HP and a lot of MP? I think we might see, we're going to see Archfield go for it, actually.
Yeah, and Kikulus brings up a good point. Beatus, he hit the Draki there for one. We did see that earlier with Beta Strep, and he just hit him with a hurt more. So those Drakis with super high defense just wanting to be the end all be all. But we're looking like Archfield's going to go hit this save, and looks like he's going to make that attempt.
Yeah, again, looking at the math here at 124, what are you looking at? An average of 9, and they've got, well, assuming no doubles, he's going to get some doubles along the way. Is Archfield looking for another level? Oh, I see. He checked the level and saw that 19's close, so he's going to pick it up. Got it. But yeah, they have how many? They have 15 heal more, so you're looking at maybe 17, 18, 19 attacks, somewhere in that range, times an average of 9. I mean, you're getting awfully far into that HP range.
And, well, the other part to that is does he go pick up Fairy Water? Maybe try to pick up a little bit of extra damage. So there's also that possibility. But again, if I remember correctly, Breck's a pretty decent walk, and Cantlin is too.
Yeah, I don't remember if we had Fairy Water in Mountain Cave. I don't think we did. I don't think we'd set up like a Fairy Water grind. And yeah, the Fairy Waters are kind of a long ways away, I think.
He's going to grind out 19. Looks like he's got it now. Let's see what we get. 1 power, 1 speed, 1 HP, and 1 magic. So 1's across the board. Not much help on that level.
Ooh, it's a good thing that level was so close, huh?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go in here and check again, see what the requirements for the next one is, or he's just going to refill magic and take a shot. But I mean, if I'm here, I might as well check and see where my next level sits at. If it's not too far off, let's take another grind. But if it's, another 1,000 experience for that, do you go?
Yeah, 125 also, unfortunately, is going to leave him with the same damage range. He's still 6 to 12. It doesn't even bump him up a little bit. He's still 6 to 12, but I believe, on average, that will bump his expected average attack up a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, right? But just a little bit.
Not too much, but I mean, again, it's all going to be a little bit of RNG on that notation. See what kind of higher low rolls we get. Again, I think this is a good spot to maybe test the waters a little bit. Try to pull that information that Beta Strip already has.
Yeah, and again, this is what makes Chaos so tricky. Is if the Dragon Lord has 120 HP, this is in the bag guaranteed, no problem for Archfield. But if the Dragon Lord has 230, we're a lot more stressed about it. And plus, Archfield has no idea what DL1 has, right? He could get to DL1 and he get hit for like 92 for all he knows, right? Meanwhile, Beta's got 16. We know that all these levels are really, really close together up there, around 16, 17, 18, and 19. They're all pretty close. So we'll see when Beta makes his move with his knowledge, and he might be right behind Archfield. He's making his move now.
Yeah, he's hitting inside of Swamp North, so it looks like he's going to just go ahead and either pick up the Princess, or he is going to go and take a look at see if maybe Hawkson's has that Death Necklace or something along those lines.
I wonder if Archfield's hunting for a fighter's ring.
I think that could be possible here at this point. And he pulls it first chest on the upstairs.
All right, that'll help him. He's 6 to 13 now. And again, the higher, should be higher on that with his 127 he's at now. So that'll get him even further into the DL2's HP range. Oh, looks like.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to go and take a look here. I mean, again, the only one with any kind of knowledge with what's going on here inside of Sharlock is Beta Strep. But again, with 127 and quite a few heal wars in the tank and possibly some doubles, I think you have a pretty good look at. I can at least get 160 and hope for the best as far as DL2's HP range.
Beta picking up the Princess, I'm guessing because he wants that level knowledge. Princess was right there. Or maybe it's just swag, who knows. Looks like Diabetes, by the way, has found the Wraiths in the grave, so he's found his grind spot. And he is actually not even that far behind, right? He gets a few Wraiths, and he's going to be at 16 pretty quickly, and we'll see what decision he makes.
Yeah, so looking at the experience gap between both Beta Strep and Archfield, we have a pretty hefty 1K 1K shot here. So, I mean, it's one of those, let's go do this and see what happens. But Archfield going ahead and trying that Dragon Lord 2 shots DL1 and is sitting here with a pretty interesting fight with DL2. So let's see how this plays out for him.
Wow, some pretty solid rolls. He gets a max roll there. The Fairy Water was just a 10, but still, that's 22 already. And he's got a bunch of heal mores. He gets an opening double, up to 32 now. So he's going to get a really far way into the HP range of this Dragon Lord.
Yeah, and he's going to throw a stop spell out there just in case, but it says not today.
Another max roll. So he tried the stop spell, then he just hits a max roll. He's up to 44 now. Still sitting on 12 more heal mores. $54 now, rolling pretty well. He's got, once you get to 100, you got a shot. So he's already halfway to 100.
Yeah, a couple of low rolls there, but he's getting a couple of doubles in as well, just due to the extremely high HP totals on this particular seed.
Wow, another max up to 74, I believe. 76, and a guaranteed double. Oh, and I missed that last damage roll, but still.
Yeah, so we're rolling right along. It looks like he's got a decent shot here. It looks like it was a 9 according to Stags.
Yeah, so that is 107, I believe, if I haven't missed too much. Another double, 114. So any attack could do it now. He's at 114, the lower end of the Dragon Lord's HP range, but it could be here. This is the frustrating part about Chaos. As he gets 123, he could still be 100 away for all we know.
Yeah, and he's having to use those heal mores, keep himself going, getting back up and at least double ranging, depending on Dragon Lord's attack patterns and whatnot. But so far, I mean, he's still hanging in here. He's still got quite a few heal mores left. Looks like he could do this.
143, now up to 155 with that again max roll. He's getting there, but he's running out of heal mores. 165, not enough. If we were playing standard flags, this would be a guarantee. Dragon Lord can only have up to 165 in standard flags, but we're not playing standard flags as Archfield goes to 172, still not enough.
And Marashu brings up a fantastic point. This is the highest HP DL2 we've had all league, and there he goes.
Finally, 181 is enough, so get your GGs out for Archfield Monk. He's going to finish in first place here and pick up 5 very, very important points in this league.
And Beta Strep coming in right after him at 17 with that attack power 113. Let's see if that's going to be enough now that we know 181 is the magic number. I don't think he's going to be able to pull this off.
Boy, yeah, I like the idea. He can get pretty far over 100 HP here. He's got the 152 HP, so he's going to get a lot of doubles, as we saw Archfield getting. He's got a lot of heal mores. He's got high defense, but boy, I mean, 181, that's a tough number to get to at 113 attack power.
Yes, indeed. And Archfield does finish with an official SRL time of 49.44, finishing first place on this race.
Oh, Brian helping us out here. Beta Strep did get level 18, so he's up to 126 attack power. That makes a huge difference. Yeah, we see it on the screen there. He is at 18, so he's sitting at 126 attack power. I was wondering how he rolled an 8 on 112, but yeah, that's gonna make a huge difference. I think he's got this, knowing that he's now on 18. I think he's probably good to get to 181 here. But oh, thank you. Yeah, DK pointed out first, but yeah. But yeah, I think he's good here. It'll depend a little bit on the rolls and how many doubles he gets, but I think he's a favorite to get to 181.
Oh yeah, and then of course Diabetes down here. He is doing his. Looks like he's getting ready to finish up his grind a little bit. He's sitting. Didn't see what his experience was sitting at, but he is on the cusp of 17, I believe.
I haven't been counting Beta Streps, but Beta Streps damage, but I do see some 6s up there, some 7s, so I'm starting to get a little bit worried. He's probably not going to throw the Slagmore out because, again, as we've been saying, anything over 100 could do it, so he's not going to want to risk, like, dying a few HP short of the Dragon Lord, but we know now that he's got to get to 181, and I think the rolls are not helping him so far. Ooh, man, there's another 6. I don't believe Beta had any Fairy Waters going in. Diabetes picking up 18, by the way, in Grave. He's decided 18 is enough to go. He doesn't have that information. He does have that Death Necklace, though, if he wants to use that once he finds out DL1 is paper.
Yeah, I think that may be where he plays this out, because he has the Death Necklace. He has 18. So, you know, it could easily be it could easily be a catch-up for him here.
Yeah, and this is where second place, of course, very important as far as league points goes. Beta Strep, I haven't been following the damage, but I've seen some low rolls there. If Beta doesn't get to 181, Diabetes hot on his tails. Diabetes making this run here. We'll see if Diabetes checks for the Fighter's Ring. Looks like he's going straight in as well, so he's going to try his luck at 124.
And here in the commentator's booth, we have Archfield Monk fantastic job, GG. And how do you feel about that particular Chaos Seed, sir?
I feel pretty good about it. That went pretty much to plan. I found a good grind zone early. Didn't even really have to check, the opening zones very much. Just got fairly fortunate, I thought, to hit a couple of really good experience enemies bottom floor of Mountain Cave there. So in Chaos, my goal is to take levels up front. I could have saved myself some time if I'd gone a little further, gotten return. So I'm a little disappointed about that. But other than that, I thought I played that pretty much just like I wanted to.
Well, just to
Yes, sir.
interrupt real quickly here, Beta Strep on his last swing, taking out the Dragon Lord. He finishes with an official time of 53 minutes, 31 seconds, about 4 minutes behind. So also get out your GGs for Beta Strep.
So, Archfield, just to give you a heads up, you hit 181, and we're looking at the DL2 stats now. 178 big hit points on that one, with a stop spell resistance of about 8 of 16, and no real special hits. So you had that grinding strategy first early on those raids. Everybody else was doing a lot of exploration, so you guys were all at different points early in this map.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really surprise me. I will sit and grind in Chaos probably a lot longer than most people do. So if I find the zone in a minute, I'm usually just going to stay and take some experience. And as it happened, in my exploration, I went all of the wrong directions. So I felt, even though I felt like I had maybe gotten an early advantage, it just felt like it was slipping away the more stuff that I found that was totally pointless. Going north, and there were just so many things. I mean, eventually you'd have to go that way to trade the staff or trade the harp, but I mean, the more I explored, the less I was finding the stuff I needed to find and just finding junk. So I did start to feel a little bit kind of in the mid game there.
So how about that amazing treasury there in Tandagel Castle?
I mean, that's always nice. I don't actually love early armor in Chaos because if you have like an early repel grind possible in the overworld, then you can't necessarily do that as easily. But in this seed, it was pretty great, and I think, did I only die? I think I took one death. That was to that stone man that caught me with the breath early, and then I don't think I died the rest of the seed. I'm not quite sure.
I believe you're correct on that one. We were watching that very early. You took the one stone man and found the one person who had DL2 where you were still at low 1 HP. And then after that, it was pretty much just go for you.
Yeah, that's basically my game plan in this flag set, and I think it worked out pretty well today. Like I said, I probably actually, if I had to do it over, I'd maybe tweak it and get a few more levels even before I left Mountain Cave the first time, but there's always the risk that there's a spike tile out there that's pretty good. The swamp one was obviously awful. I never even saw Hawk's Nest because I last location swamp, I assume it was on second continent.
Hawk's Nest was on the second continent. It had the death necklace in it.
Yeah, and once I realized that, then I'm just like, I don't actually care. Death necklace is not something I typically use in Chaos just because DL1 can be such a jerk. It would have been a reasonably good help in this seed, I think, because DL1 was a pushover, and then of course we had such low attack power, and DL2 had kind of above average HP, so yeah.
So again,
just to interrupt here real quick, Diabetes does finish off the DL2 fight and finishes with an official SRL time of 56.50. So he takes his third place victory. And again, GG to everybody on this race.
Yeah, it was very well done by everybody. A difference of, 7 minutes from first to third. And that was mostly Diabetes just kind of got waylaid by that harp, really. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot to separate runners. So very, very close. What you'd expect from 3 runners of this caliber.
Indeed. So, quick question for you there, Archfield, before we get Diabetes in here. How do you feel about going into next week's tiebreaker seeds?
I mean, I love tiebreaker flag because I love playing it. I've done I did the mini tournament, and that was a lot of fun. But I don't always have good results in them. So this being a position round, I don't feel as good about this as I might normally. But it's tiebreaker flags. A lot of crazy things can happen. I always have fun doing it, so I'm at least looking forward to it from that aspect. So week 3 should be a blast.
Indeed. Well, I'll tell you this much right now. With your win today, you have stopped 2 different people. You are once again stopping anybody who has won their first week race from actually getting another first place finish this week.
Yeah, it's been pretty wide open, hasn't it? It's been tough to string together a couple of wins.
Yeah, it has been. We are now joined here in the commentary booth by Diabetes the Second. GG, an amazing race. How do you feel about the seed, man?
Hey, thanks. GG to Archfield and Beta Strep as well. Didn't feel great about it. I mean, it was okay. I got off to a really, really nice start because I did dive down into the mountain cave and was able to pick up the sword at level 1. And then the silver shield at, what was that? Whatever the time was right next door. So I was fully kitted in like 4 minutes. That was pretty awesome. But not rediving mountain cave later on to pick up the harp was definitely a big miss for me.
Yeah, we had commented on that quite a bit throughout that run. That was the only thing that you were missing. You got a lot of the information first, as far as locations of things, but you were missing that harp the entire time.
Yeah, it was kind of my intention. I kind of made the prospective princess pickup, and really that was more to some degree because of chaos. It gives you a little bit of an idea with the GPS as to XP for the next level. But my intention was to take her back and then dive the rest of the mountain cave. I mean, there's 3 chests there at that point. I still had some of the search tiles to look for, but that was the biggest density of checks still to make, and I didn't make it. And I was like, okay, well, next time I die or something, I'll just go do it then. And then I didn't die again. There was just nothing threatening on the overworld, really, the whole game.
No, with the initial pickup of the Erdrick's armor, the only real major deal to death was from Archfield off the get, and that's only because he had the level 1 HP off of his first big jump in age experience due to the magician kill. He died to DL2 just because he had the armor but not enough HP, and then after that he didn't have any deaths either.
No, I was hoping for a death too after I'd cleared the north, because that's the direction I went first, and I basically checked everything up there and didn't think to buy a pair of wings in Cantlin when I was through. I should have done that. But yeah, there was not much that was a threat. There were some things that were annoying, but once if you have early equipment, then you swing twice at a couple things. If it doesn't kill it, then I just usually ignore it, especially when the MP is kind of low like it was for most of this seed.
Yeah, it was very similar to my approach as well. I actually got to level 10 or 11 or whatever it was, and I just started casting Repel because there was nothing on the overworld either that was really worth fighting. I think the 2 big enemies that I saw in this seed were Wraiths and Metal Slimes that were worth something. Wraiths were worth about 240, Metals were worth about 250.
And Metals were in a zone with what seemed like a bunch of other junk, like absolute terrible, like werewolves that were 3 hits and worth 4 experience or something. I have my notes here somewhere, but
yep, I saw that zone a couple times. Blue Dragon's worth a solid 1 experience point.
Yes.
Druin's worth like 25, and it's like, well, this isn't a viable zone. Where else can I go? I ended up grinding in the top of the grave. At least there were a couple of enemies worth something. You had the Wraiths worth 240, you had the Wizards worth, 50, and then Metal Scorpions worth about 100. The only zonk was the Dracula was worth 15, but everything else was okay. It's just the encounter rate's kind of suspect.
Yeah, I did the same thing basically. When I went down, I go outside first in these flag sets where you can access the basement. I tend to go outside first, especially in the Chaos one, because I feel like there's usually not much in the basement at level 1 that I'm going to care about. And I got levels really quick, and so when I took that death off the Stone Man, I went straight to the basement and found that zone right away, and I think I stayed there until maybe 12 or 13 before I even left. Because I had level 8 level 8 off a magician outside, so I was, I had resources. So that went pretty interestingly. That was the zone that I think we all ended up grinding. You said you did yours top of grave, but it's the same zone. I stayed second floor of Mountain Cave.
Yeah. So now here's another big question I've got. What did you guys think of that massive gap between 13 and 14?
Sometimes you look at those and go, well, maybe I'll just go try the Dragon Lord instead. I didn't actually know what the gap was because I didn't hit Swamp Cave until, like I said, I last location that, so I didn't have GPS or anything, and I didn't really want to walk to the king to ask him what the next level was. But we had, I think, 100 attack power and 90 defense at that point. So there's no way around that. You just kind of have to keep taking experience. So I didn't even really think to check it.
I believe the gap was you guys got 13 super early, close to 1,000, and then 14 hit pretty close to about 5,200.
Yeah, it was something like that. I know there was a big gap. I think once I picked up the princess, I saw it was like 3,400 to the next level, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, our stats are terrible. That's fine. I don't need to keep checking it. But yeah, that massive gap, I found it very interesting. So, Archfield mentioned doing a lot of grinding early. I did most of my grind late. There was really not much benefit one way or the other in this particular seed. Often there's kind of like one strategy is going to win over the other, but with the early level gains and with the fact that really nothing on the overworld for the most part was threatening, it really didn't matter what order you did things except for the, of course, order of exploration.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I mean, typically you'd find one strategy has some leverage over the other, but in this case, I don't think it would have made a difference. I mean, you could grab a silver shield really early, you had armor early. That means you can repel stuff. There might have been some dangerous things in the overworld. For all I know, I probably only saw, half the monster set. But because you could get rid of a lot of those encounters, and even the ones that got through the repel just were trivial. I mean, nothing was hitting DL2, nothing was casting sleep. So it was really just a race the whole way just to try to get things done as efficiently as possible. A lot of that comes down to just encounter luck and whatever else. So, I mean, you see the finishing times. I think that really just could have been anybody's race when it comes down to it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That came down to a lot of the exploration luck, and we kind of made a comment on that there was a lot of things that we just hadn't seen on the map, either due to repel or just because you guys chose specific grind points at the beginning and right on your grind and go modes.
I'm looking at my notes now. I think I killed 18 distinct enemies. So that's under half of what we would have seen. And I saw the Drakey on the Charlock spike, but it ran immediately. So I have no idea what that was.
Well, that Drakey was super high defense. I know Beatus and Beta both got the kill on him, but they got one hit point off of a regular attack and then just hit with a hurt when it was done.
Oh, dang.
It was also worth nothing. It was like single digits. I doped out immediately when I saw that and went to the grave.
Yeah, I decided to gamble on. I sometimes check the spike, but since the drop was where it was, I didn't want to walk all the way back to Charlock, check it, and only have the spike be awful. And the spike is usually awful, right? I mean, either it's terrifying to kill, or it gives you no experience, or it runs 25% of the time. I usually kind of fade spike tiles if I can. I did check Swamp Spike, and that was that, whatever it was, the 6 experience point wolf that was probably similar stats to that Drakey. I don't know.
Yeah, I would usually check a spike if I don't really have a great alternative. And if there was a zone that just had a couple of things in it that were worth like 60 to 120, I would have been happy. That would have been fine. The problem was there was like one good enemy and 4 garbage enemies in every zone.
Yes, absolutely.
Or no good enemies and a bunch of garbage. It's like, well,
yeah.
So I've already asked that question to Archfield. Diabetes, how do you feel going into next week with our tiebreaker races?
I mean, tiebreaker races, like a lot of these, but I think especially the tiebreakers it's anybody's game. I mean, anything can happen in any moment. You want to think about, we were talking about exploration luck and stuff. That is the pinnacle of what direction you happen to go, what thing you happen to face or find or whatever kind of determines how things go for you. I've done a fair number of them over the last year or so, either just for fun or otherwise. So, I mean, I have a lot of experience with it, but I don't know. I like things that are closer to kind of the standard flag set if possible, but it'll be interesting. Hopefully they'll be fast. We'll get to see some alternate win conditions, most likely too. That's always fun.
You got to get your hot tub and disco ball ready to go.
That does seem to be one of the popular win conditions, although I think we might see a few more cursed princesses. We'll see.
It is quite a
That
lovely
more
course
grind.
set.
All the catchphrases over
All
there for
right.
Rye Guy, huh?
Oh yeah, he's full of puns today.
You know, I was surprised to see you on the list today. I was like, 9 a.m. Really? 9 a.m. Pacific for Rye Guy? Is he still up for this one, or is he just waking up really early?
Did
Probably
you know
the
they make a
former.
9 in the morning? I didn't know they made a 9 in the morning. This is breaking news to me.
Yeah, I told Rye the same thing. I've got a 3-year-old, so 9 o'clock in the morning is a gift. All right, gentlemen. So final thoughts before we get ready to sign off here and start prepping for the rest of our full day of Dragon Warrior Randomizer races.
I don't really have much else to say about the seed, but I do want to thank everybody for taking this one. I know it's an early morning one for me too. I'm also in Pacific, so I know it's sometimes more difficult to pull crew together for these. So thanks Edge and Rye for calling it, and thanks to V and Stags for tracking it, and much thanks to Elmore for getting the restream on this one.
Yeah, pretty much what Archfield said. Thanks for the crew. This is my second week in a row doing a noon Saturday race Eastern, so we appreciate you guys coming out and putting the crew together for this. Looking forward, like I said, to next week. Next week being position rounds, so kind of excited about that. Maybe it's a good thing I took a lower. We'll see if that comes to be a unforeseen bonus for me. We'll see. But GG's to everybody, and thanks for everything.
Not a problem. Rye, any final thoughts from you, sir?
No, just thank you again to our runners. That was a great race to watch, and I just want to remind everyone that we do have a chaotic day of racing today. Come back here on this very channel. We'll have races at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Eastern, featuring a lot of your favorite runners. We won't go down the entire list, but all throughout the afternoon and early evening, if you're Eastern time, we've got races here on Randomania Prime, and at 11:30 Eastern, in case you just need a little nightcap or to finish off your night, we've got a race over on RPG Limit Break as well. So plenty of randomizer action for you today on Randomania and closing it out on RPG Limit Break. So enjoy that.
Alrighty, and once again, give all of these racers a follow, as well as the staff, both Stags and Bay Levy on our tracking, Elmore St. James as far as our restreamer. Thank you for that, and then of course Rye Guy 3745 and myself, Edge Talvron. We will see you guys again at 6:30 Eastern time tonight for another exciting Chaos Seed. This is Edge. You guys have a wonderful evening. Signing out.